this is Rye at RevUp Render. Today I'm going to show you the Foundry's Modo software rendering on 168 Intel Xeon Sandy Bridge processors. So if you don't already have an account, you can go to RevUpRender.com and sign up, and within a very short amount of time you can actually have your own personal supercomputer for rendering. So we deliver the render farm right to you. It's completely dedicated, so you're not sharing it with anyone else. So I'm already signed in here. If you need help signing up or creating an account, you can email support@revuprender.com. So I already have the server all started to save time during this demo. So I'm going to go ahead and log in there. Normally you would hit launch and then log into the Windows system. So now I'm on the RevUp Cosmos Cloud Workstation. I'm going to just go into full screen mode here. So as you can see, I have Modo running. This is not on my local desktop. This is actually running completely out in the cloud, and we stream it to you at between 30 to 60 frames per second. So it actually feels like you're working locally. So I have a test scene here that I got through the Foundry forum. So just giving credit to that, whoever created that. Thank you for providing that file. And first of all, I'm going to go here to Preferences in Modo, and I'm going to go down to the Rendering tab, and I'm going to not select Network Rendering to begin with, just to show you how long it takes. So I'm going to close that, and you can see here there's all these extra render nodes that are actually connected, but I'm not actually going to use those on this first test because I want to actually show you how long it takes without the render node. So this is just a single Cosmos cloud workstation that has a quad-core Intel Xeon. So it's a single Xeon processor with 8 cores. And right now it's doing all the lighting calculations, so that's going to take a couple minutes. But I'm just going to speed up the video here towards the end of the rendering so you can see the render time. So it's just finishing up here, and as you can see over here, it has taken almost 9 minutes to render this on one single server with a single quad-core Xeon. So it took a total of 8 minutes and 49 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the preferences, and let me just back up there for a second. I'm going to go back out to my local desktop, to the dashboard here. To start up the render nodes, you simply go here and this is your Cosmos server, and you go down to the render node 1, click run, render node 2, click run, and you have to wait about 2 to 3 minutes for each one of those to start up because they're very large 32 core Xeon servers. So they take a few minutes to start up and load the Modo software in slave mode. So okay, I'm going to go back here to the desktop now. And I'm in the preferences, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check use network render nodes, and normally if you came in here you want to leave this one checked to accept assets, so you don't have to have a shared folder. It's a really nice feature of Modo. You don't have to discover via Bonjour. You're going to do this one here, render nodes via host list, and then you go down to host list, put all the IP addresses here that we supply you, either through email or directly in the RevUp dashboard. So these are the IP addresses I've already entered in. I'm going to say test hosts, and you can see they're all successful. So now I'm going to go back and hit render again. And it's still going to have to do the lighting calculation, the photons and stuff on the first workstation server. So that's still going to take the same amount of time. But the bulk of the time there for the render processing is going to be significantly less, as you'll see in a minute. So now it's actually going to be rendering across 160 Xeon cores that are on the render nodes and the additional 8 cores on this Cosmos workstation. So a total of 168 cores. You can see it's extremely fast. And you can actually go ahead and start up as many of these render node servers as you need. You can see over on the left here that each one of these is 32 cores. And so now you're going to start seeing down here all these render buckets, whereas before we just saw 8, now we're actually seeing 168 render buckets. So I don't really even need to pause the video here, it's going to go really fast. Might take like a minute compared to it was 9 minutes before. So the orange squares there are actually the local cores rendering on this Cosmos server, and the blue ones are the render nodes. So with our service, you don't really have to worry about any of this. We set up all the network rendering for you, make sure it's working. And this is not just for Modo software, but you can use this for Mental Ray, for V-Ray, Cinema 4D, Lightwave, pretty much any software that has a distributed rendering capability. So here we go, it's about to finish. And that took a total of 1 minute and 56 seconds. Now if I go back here, this is the one we did previously. It took 8 minutes and 49 seconds. So 1 minute 56 seconds with 5 render nodes. So it's pretty fast. This one here rendered in 3 minutes. I believe that was just using one server though. And then these are some different ones. So this one here rendered in just about a minute. So it's extremely fast. And like I said before, this is only 5 render nodes. You could start up 10, 20, 100, as many as you need. And the really great part is that it actually doesn't end up costing you anymore because it's going to go that many times faster. So if it normally would take 10 hours on a single server and you start 10 servers, each render node is $10 an hour. So that's our current price, but it's so let's say it's $100, but it's still going to cost the same amount in the end, and you'll have it in 1 hour versus 10 hours. So that's RevUp Render, rendering Modo on a 168 core personal supercomputer. We can render on unlimited cores here, and so if you have any questions, again, you can reach us at www.revuprender.com. Thanks for watching.